I see this show isn't going to go as smoothly as I thought. So last week we talked about taking care of small groups or solo diners. And I made it very clear that I hate solo diners. Don't like them, don't want them, not interested in them. So today we're talking about taking care of a lot of people, big groups, big tops. And generally speaking, I much rather prefer taking care of large groups of people. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss. We're going to argue. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get it started.
Welcome to Fancy Bread. I'm Adrian.
I'm Ed.
And today we're joined by Nicole and Derek, both of which have come before. Guys, thank you for joining us one more time.
Welcome back, guys.
Also, this is the first time that we have a full table. And in honor of that, we're going to talk about big tops. What we like about them personally, what we don't like about them, how we feel about serving them, tips on how to serve them, and tips for you, the guest, and how to better improve those situations as well. Let's get into it, guys. Do you enjoy dining out in big groups? Nicole?
I will not dine out in a large group if I'm not absolutely 100% confident that everyone's going to just throw their card in, or there is a designated person who is paying, whether it be me or someone else, and they are fully aware of where they are, how much they will be spending, plus, and they're comfortable with people losing their inhibition and ordering shots for the table and racking up the bill. That is the only way that I will go out in a large group.
Nice. Do you have a cap on, like, I will not dine if there's more than X amount of people?
No.
All right. As long as the right circumstances are met,
Yes.
we're good.
Yes, I have parameters.
Perfect. Derek, how do you feel about dining out in big groups?
I'm good with it.
You good with it?
When I order food, whether I'm by myself or with one other person, I'm ordering for 6 people.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yes,
So-
you do.
Yeah, I was about to say.
If I'm with a larger group, I just double up and just keep doubling.
I like to do that too.
Oh,
Not
yes.
everyone's comfortable with that.
Correct.
Listen, I dine with both these beautiful people, and you better be ready. You better be ready. Because with one of them, you better be hungry, and with the other one, well, you better have it.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Most people, I think the biggest inconvenience is that people don't know how to pay for their dinner when they're eating in large groups. They don't understand that it takes a little bit of, letting go of your inhibitions and saying, before you go out to eat, saying, you know what, I'm not going to go eat unless I'm okay with spending some money, whatever that might mean to you. Because we'll get into one of the negative things about eating in big groups or taking care of big groups. But if you're going to go eat with a big group, you got to be willing to say, listen, I'm going to be very casual about how this is going to be paid for, or it's already organized prior, which is a huge thing, and a lot of people don't do it.
Miami is a different beast. When you go out in large groups, you're not spending hundreds. We're spending thousands up in here.
Thousands of dollars.
Yep. To me, we already spoke in the previous show how we feel about dining in big groups. Personally, it's not my favorite, but the reason being is because of the lack of communication at times. When you dine with people in big groups, to me, it's important that everybody understands each other and it's aware of what's going to happen. If you go out to dine and people just show up and they expect that they're going to pay $100 or not pay at all, and then it's like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. So unless everybody is on the same page, I don't deal with that.
It's an unwritten rule. Like, you go out to eat, there's certain things you're going to have to say, okay, I'm going to let this go. Oh, I only had the shrimp and the asparagus. Well, you came to eat with a large group of people. So part of the unwritten rule is you're going to have to pay maybe sometimes less or maybe sometimes more. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, but I've plenty of times been like, okay, I got you. Don't worry.
Of course.
I'm not going to sit here and argue with
Of
someone
course,
for 20
same.
minutes about.
But it
you
diminishes
didn't
the
wanna eat.
experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Because now everyone's keeping track and almost pocket picking what you had, how much you're giving in, what you're giving in.
It's
Now
pretty
I'm
tacky.
covering you.
Yeah, it's tacky.
And so I like to either just be the big boss at the table that says, I got you, or I know that there's another big boss at the table that says, I got you.
Yeah.
It makes it less messy.
So the moral of the story is know who you're dining with before you go out in a big party.
We're getting caviar if you come with me.
You know what I don't like?
You're
with
getting
big
caviar if
parties
you go out with Nicole.
What don't you like?
Is if I throw my card in and I'm like, all right, everybody, just Zelle me. And I only know, like, let's say we're 10 people and 2 of those people I don't really know. They're going to forget to Zelle me. And I'm not chasing
They're not going to forget to Zelle you. They're going to remember to forget to Zelle you.
Sure.
Now-
I'm not chasing you down. I don't fucking know you like that.
Yeah, well, that's
But
the thing.
I'm going to remember that shit forever.
Yeah, you cut them off.
Now, another one
Cut 'em
which
off.
is really hard, and we're going to go into now the different group dynamics, right? Because you could say you're in a table with friends. You could say you're in a table with coworkers. You could say you're in a table with family or with people that you don't know, because we got that a lot of times. And all these represent different challenges, because I don't mind going out with the family. Like Nicole said, this is my family. If I have to put it out, I'll put it out. It's not what I want, family, but I'll do it.
Put it out, he says.
You put it out. It hurts.
That means different
It
things
hurts
in
at
different
times. For different places, depending on where you go.
Yeah.
But it's different situations. And obviously, I would say that I don't mind going out in big groups as long as it's family or a close-knit group of friends.
I hate it. I hate it,
But
bro.
still, it's just like,
I hate dining in big groups. For me, a big group is 4 people.
more than 4 people.
That's big for me.
This is nerve-wracking right now.
And this is me going out with 4 people already vetting the situation, like Nicole said. I won't dine with these people unless it's already vetted, unless I know how it's going to work financially, unless all those things are already taken care of. I still don't like eating in a group bigger than like 4 people. For me, preferably one other person.
We all have different styles of dining too.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to share. That's not really the environment or the culture here in Miami. We all like to share, especially us. We are not really there to finish our plate. We're there to try everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
Especially Derek.
That's the one pro about a group dining is that you get to try everything on the menu.
Yeah.
You know, just bring one of everything because there's enough of us here, and that's how you really can determine whether a restaurant is really amazing or not. So
That's Derek's style of ordering. He's like,
That's
"Oh,
the
yo,
thing.
are you guys cool with everything? Just bring us one of all."
That's the thing.
And then when I like something, just give us 4 more.
Yeah, I like eating, but sometimes Derek gets a little aggressive.
A little aggressive.
Like you could be full, and he'll be like, "Yeah, bring us 7 more of those."
I love it.
There's
We
always-
did have like
there's always to go,
3
sir.
rounds
You can
of
always take
dessert
those home.
that time that I dined with you.
Right.
Now, speaking about serving, what are some of the things you like about serving big groups? Go.
I love the energy behind the table. Everything is amplified. And for lack of better words, I feel like you're killing like 20 birds with one stone, and I'm building my business in one hit. So if I get everybody at that party on my side and they're having a great time and they love me and I can exchange information with all of them, well, I just built 50 more clients or 20 more clients, and then they're going to chirp and they're going to tell all their friends about me and all their friends are going to come see me. And so I feel like personally I'm really building my business with a large top, and I like the energy behind it. I like dominating groups of people. I like becoming the ringmaster because I know that it's not for the faint of heart. And if you don't dominate yourself and assert yourself as the ringmaster, then they're gonna run a circus on you.
Damn.
Which we're gonna get back into in a little minute.
What about you, D?
What about you? What do you like about big groups?
I like investigating and figuring out who the head guy is or the head woman
That's
is.
step 1, though.
Step 1, we're gonna get into that.
That's step 1.
And just creating that connection and
Yeah.
having that conversation and being like, listen, you run this, I'm gonna help you, and let's just make sure this table leaves here happy.
That's,
like that.
That's what I like about it too. It's like if it's a big table, everything is amplified. The way Nicole said, you're guaranteed. If you're going to be tipped well, you're going to be tipped very well. It's just math, right? There's no way you're going to get more money on a $500 check than you would on a $5,000 check. That's just the nature of the biz. But I have a question. How do you greet big tables? How do you greet them? Because I have a very, very clear greeting for a big table.
You want to start with that? Go for it.
Rule number 1 for taking care of big groups is determining a host right away. It's not always clear who the host is. Sometimes the host will make themselves apparent, and then it'll be much easier. But you have to find out the key to not losing your sanity with a big top is talking to as little people as possible. Finding a focal point, and through that focal point, you manipulate the experience. I keep it very simple. Obviously, I don't address the whole table because sometimes it might be embarrassing for some people. Because you might have a host who's willing to spend money, but they might be a little shy. So I'll just go to one corner of the table. I'll be like, yo, is there anybody at this table I can talk to who's going to make some decisions? That's it. And then somebody will be like, oh, they'll point to the person. I'll be like, oh, that's it. And then as quickly as possible, let's get these menus out of these fucking people's hands. There's only 2 menus on the table, a wine list and a food menu. And those should be in the hand of the same person.
Yep.
Whoever's making those decisions. That's it.
Even I'm gonna throw a little caveat on that. Is I personally like
A
it.
caveat or some caviar?
Caviar.
So why not? Let's throw some caviar in there. The
Golden.
when a big group comes in, I personally like to be the one that brings in the wine list.
Yeah.
Because if the hostess brings it in, she's just gonna either put it in the
Right.
middle. It's okay.
Right.
But if
That's
you
it.
are the one that comes with the wine list, you can just come in and say, who's in charge of making the wine selection tonight?
Yeah.
Who do I give this to? And everybody's gonna be like, or someone will. So that's
Yeah.
a great technique for you to
Right.
find that person, because the person that's going to make that decision is either the person that is going to pay, which is the one person that you have to identify. It's not sometimes, you say the host, but who's paying?
Yeah, who's paying?
Which is not always the host. Because
Correct.
you might also say, in the cheat sheet, in the little paper, it might say, Ed is the reservations under Ed, and you go to Ed, and Ed, it's the person that made the reservation, but he's not the one that's paying. Happens more often than not. Because
I've fallen under some traps, and I've learned some
a lot
hard
of times
lessons.
the person that is paying has people next to them that are
assistants.
doing those things for them. It's like their assistants, their friends, and like, I'll do that for you. So not always go by what it says on the paper. If so, I might use that and say, Ed, right there, sir, will you be making the wine decision for us tonight? And Ed will point at the host or the person in charge.
Yeah.
So those are always little quicks. I don't know if you maybe have a little
Well-
tip into how do you find the host without maybe having to ask.
I speak loudly, and the person that looks at me, I go to them, and you can just feel that if they have the authority or they don't. You know what I mean? And if they don't, that's who you talk to. But the person that makes that eye connection with you, that's the person that I'm going towards. But
You know what you like, and these are the easy ones though. When you find the host, but that host is a little bitch, and you're like, I'm gonna eat your whole tonight. I'm so sorry, buddy. I mean, like your table has to eat.
You gotta build
However,
them up.
I'm
You
gonna
gotta
make
build them
sure
up.
that at the end of the dinner, you look good. I'm gonna do that for you. However, it's gonna hurt. So you better be prepared, baby.
Well, it's Miami, man.
It's Miami.
You know.
Any tips in how you would find that guest? How do you find that host, perhaps, or how do you do it?
I don't tiptoe so elegantly with the wine list. I pull up with the energy. I start screaming at people.
Yeah.
What's up? We're happy to have you. Welcome in. I'm talking to everybody. But in that first interaction, I'm making sure that I have all their attention. They know that I'm the one that's taking care of the whole party. And then I find out who's the host, who's spending the money, and who the guest of honor is as well, because I need to make sure that I give them the attention. That's super important. And then I sprinkle compliments across the table. Hey, you look fly. I love that shirt. Girl, your hair is looking amazing.
Let's go, baby.
And then they're now on my team. And then I can build that rapport where they're going to trust me moving forward to build their menu.
Perfect. Now let's move into some negatives. What are some of the cons, the challenges, the things that we're like, we don't want this?
I don't know that this is a con or a challenge, but a heartbreaking moment is when you identify the host and they have the wine list, and the person next to them is like, "Oh, I was in Napa last year. I was in Bordeaux or XYZ," and they're like, "Oh, you choose the wine," and that person is not spending the money.
Yeah.
And they order significantly lower because you've already got the food order. Let's say you know what these people are willing to spend, right? And that person is scared now that they have the wine list after talking a big game, knowing that they're not paying the check,
Right.
and you can't even maneuver around that because
But
the host passed it off.
sometimes that
himself.
flips in a good way, because like if you get one of these Miami dudes, and you know what we're talking about, one of these Miami dudes, and he's obviously going to pay for the table, but then his girl grabs the wine list. I love that.
That's different.
Because she has no idea what money means. You understand? She has no idea.
The
But
Miami ladies.
I love that shit. That's honestly one of my favorite things. When one of these like Miami bimbos grabs her like drug dealer's like wine list, it's a wrap. One of the things I hate about
I was gonna say,
it's the truth.
go ahead.
One of the things I hate about big tops is when you can tell right away that, like I said, they haven't done that vetting process. When you can tell like, oh, they're not about eating family style. Nobody wants to make a decision. You have a table of 10 people who can't make up their minds about shit. Nobody wants to take charge. You already tell. I just walk away. I go, all right, you guys take your time. I'm out of here. They don't want to buy big steaks, big wine, big items. They just want to go to the restaurant to be there and each have a fillet or a piece of fish, a couple of sides for the table, and then leave. So then I say to myself, the only way I'm going to make money on this table is by getting them the fuck up and taking care of somebody else. That's
I have two things I want to say. Number one, I thought you were going to go a different route there, because it's hilarious that Edwin's, I guess, favorite things in a big top is for the girlfriend to grab the wine list, but his least favorite thing in any table is for the lady to grab the check.
Yeah, it's the worst thing. Let's be honest. It's the worst.
So, ladies, you have
It's
some
the worst
do's
thing.
and not do's.
It's the worst. All right, but hold on though.
Go for it.
Hold on. Let's say, and this is a very specific situation to servers.
Yes.
Let's say you're away from the floor for a second. You're in the back, you're putting it in order, whatever. A hostess comes to you and they hand you a chit. And then you see that you have like a 10 top, a 15 top. And you go out to that 15 top. And what is it that you might see that you might say, fuck?
There's way more people standing around the table and there's no seats for them.
I mean, that just sounds like nothing goes right in a restaurant.
It is very common, and honestly, it's terrible and very rude that you make a reservation for, let's say, 10 people, 12 people show up, 13 people show up, and at different times, or even as you're sitting down, super tight. Then they say, "Oh, I have 2 more people coming."
I'm
and then
sorry,
and then someone shows up, and then you'd be like, "What's going on? How do
they're
we?"
waving
And
their
they'd be like,
arms
"Oh,
like,
and
"Where's my
can you get us
seat?"
another chair?" And
Oh, we
clearly
have an
there's no
actor
table. And now we probably end up putting a different chair, and it's like, and now the guest is there. And
We have
then-
an actress.
and then just gonna, how are you gonna? What are you doing? Listen, we do it, but just know it's not gonna be neat. And as long as you're okay with that,
I'm so far away from
we can
you
get
on
with
this.
that.
Why?
I love that shit.
You love when that happens?
I like
Yes.
it too.
You love when
I
people
love it.
keep
Please.
adding and adding?
Because
Why is that? Go ahead.
I like it too, but it makes things very chaotic off rip because it
does.
takes a moment for you to regain that control on
But it
that
keeps
table.
it fun.
It does keep it fun.
Keeps it fun.
It keeps
People
it
like that spend more money often. People like that have less worries. They're like, oh, I have friends that want to join. Your friends are joining in the middle. They don't care what they're spending the money on. You know what I mean? They just want to be with their people. It allows you to also, let's say we're on a wait, right? And I have a 10 top coming in and their table is not going to be ready. And I only have a couple places I could put them. And they're like, oh, we're actually going to be 12. I'm like, all right, I can find a place to put all 12 of you. It's just going to be weird. It's not going to be a normal table, right? This small table might line up with this big table, but they're just happy to be sitting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they give you some grace. So you have more tools in your belt to make them have a good time because you're starting off on such a good note.
Yeah, but also, pointed note, that's also a
What
great
if there's
weapon.
no room?
But that
There's no room.
there's no room. There's no room. So at that point, the head, if you're the host of that table, you're gonna have to start cutting some heads. However, It's a great point that you mentioned, and it's a great weapon for us servers as well. That when that happens and guests start giving you, oh, you don't have like a bigger table, as you can just tell them a table for 10, right there. It's like you're telling them that's on you, not on us.
Yeah.
So feel free to use that on them. It puts them in their place for them to understand. All right, we messed up. Let's do it. And again, when you get a guest to do that, that's another opportunity for you. Like, hey, why don't we just do some shots and get this over with? How many people could you read? 2 more? They don't. Let's give them 2 shots there, so they catch up, and let's get shots
Yeah,
for
but there's
everybody.
a threshold.
You know what I
though.
mean,
There's a
You gotta-
threshold, right? If they made a reservation for 10 and then they all of a sudden are 18, then it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, yes.
If we can make it work, we're going to make it
If
work.
you can make
Of
it work.
course.
If you can
Of
make
right,
it work.
but not all restaurants have all the space and all of everything to accommodate such a big change.
Yeah, it's a Friday night. We're busy.
I'm talking
all
about-
tables,
yeah.
all chairs are full.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
We sell seats in a restaurant. Of course, we want you to have bigger parties. Bigger parties means more money. But ultimately, there's a threshold where it becomes chaotic and it affects service. It affects my ability to sell to people because I can't even talk to the lady because she's talking to 4 new people who are, there. The dude is distracted. It affects everything. It affects everything. Me, go back to the question I asked. When I get handed that shit and I go onto the floor and I see my table, if it's like a bachelorette, all women, I feel like handing the table to somebody else. I do. Because what you have to understand is, Nicole,
Oh, let them have a
Nicole,
good
what you need to understand is that not all women.
One night.
You see? But that's her saying to herself, I agree.
It
Nikki, what you need to understand is that
it depends how you run them.
the majority of women are not like you. The majority, 99% of female diners
We
are
need
not
to
like
pop
you.
champagne, ladies. We
Right.
need to pop some bubbly. We need to get this party
Uh-huh.
starting.
Uh-huh.
You know?
I don't use different tactics for women. I still find the host. I'm charismatically aggressive. I make them laugh. They just don't do it. They don't do it. And I'm not talking about never. I'm talking about statistically.
Well,
Statistically. Okay, but let me ask this
Go ahead,
question.
'cause I was
Let
gonna
me ask
say we
this
do that
question.
into something.
Would
Go
you
ahead.
rather have a table of 10 dudes or a table of 10?
Oh, 10 dudes. Oh, sorry. No
Yeah, but
offense.
statistically,
That's not what I'm asking you.
not-
I'm answering the question.
Yeah,
Statistically-
Edwin is very black and white. He's like either that one or
Answer
the
the
other.
question.
of 10 women dining in any one of our restaurants
Mm-hmm.
are connected to 50 other people
Right.
that will come.
Correct.
And
And
spend
pay for
a
them.
ton of money.
Fantastic.
You
And it's
show them
very
a great
likely that
time,
they're
and
paying
you've
with someone
now-
else's card too. So
You've now created a long-term butterfly effect that benefits you in the long run.
Okay, Ashton Kutcher, that's
or
cool
in the
and
short
everything.
term, because you can get the guys
Thank
in
you.
the
Put 'em in his
restaurant
place,
amped
baby.
up.
That's great. But I'm asking
Spark
you,
up the guys.
who would you rather have? Not how existential you get about the table or how you get about the near future of the table. Who would you rather take care of? 10 women or 10 men? And why?
I'd rather take care of the people that are going to spend more money.
See? So,
There you go.
so don't answer the question by all means. Don't answer the fucking question.
yeah, he likes to do that. It's
Don't
very
answer
black and
the
white.
question.
So speaking
So
of
don't know,
not
but
necessarily
I like that answer.
not necessarily challenges, but what are some key things that you see and identify and say to yourself, this table, it's not going to be that good, so I don't need to overwork it or overserve them or just give them that extra because I know at this point it's like they might not even tip.
Well, you never know.
What are some of the giveaways if you do have? I'm just gonna throw one. When guests ask you, "Do you have refills?"
Do you have refills?
Yes.
I mean,
you can clearly tell you're in the wrong place, and that's okay. You're trying something new, but at that point we know just give them the 1, 2, 3s, the ABCs. You don't have to work too much on that. You have one of those maybe?
When they constantly are asking me what I recommend, and I am recommending you the best shit on the menu, but you just have this insecurity in you where
Yeah.
you think that I'm recommending it because it's expensive, but I'm recommending it to you because I want you to have a good time. I want you to have the best dishes on the
Yeah.
menu. And when they start cutting you off and saying, no, we're not going to get that, we're going to get this instead, I'm like, all right, well, it's your dinner.
Right.
But I feel like you're really not living up to its full potential in this moment.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm kind of like, all right, they don't want to relinquish that control. And so it's going to be a little bit difficult.
That's the
more
thing.
difficult of a
Yeah.
situation for them.
I have a cool
And me.
technique
People
for
are
that one
control
later on,
freaks.
which we're
They're
gonna throw in
control
the tips
freaks,
at the
people.
end.
They don't want to let go.
Yeah. I'm a master of indulgence. So I just want everybody to indulge the way that I would when I go out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's an art form to dining and you either have it or you don't, or you know what you're doing or you don't. And I feel like it's really nice when somebody's there to guide you and give you that experience. But if people don't want that, then I know that we're just not vibing. It's not clicking
So
right
if
now.
you're not
They don't
so once you
understand.
stop
They don't
vibing, you're
understand.
like, all right, I'm just gonna.
I'm going to give you your
I'm
space.
just gonna make
I'm
sure
gonna
that
let
you're
you
good.
enjoy
Yeah.
Give you space.
your dinner.
Don't worry
now.
about it.
The
Yeah.
pushback, or
It's
what
not
about
our dinner,
yeah.
I guess.
What about like the very audible no to items on the menu? Like we have a very expensive item on our menu, and just off the bat, they'll be like, "Nah, we're not getting that. We're not going to get that." I'm like, "Oh, how are you? How you? Welcome. You know, would you like let's start over."
I love how you always go to my perfect segues, but there you have one that you want to throw in there, something that guests do that you like. All right, basic service for you it is, sir. I'm gonna give you your space. No,
Oh, and it's always the people
Derek
that
is very
come back
kumbaya.
around at the end and say, this wasn't really all that good.
Why do you think that is?
And I'm like, well, I didn't recommend that to you.
Exactly. It's the truth.
it is a truth.
It's the truth.
Now,
My
segue.
thing is, as long as somebody's not rude to me, I just want you to have a good time.
Yeah, we made a mistake bringing Derek on the show, man.
I
He's
love it.
very fucking
No, I love
kumbaya
it.
and shit. I don't know what's going on.
Just
here.
My
Just look at those
shutdown,
eyes, bro.
my shutdown
He's a
is
fucking yogi.
once you start being rude, then I'm giving you basic service. Outside of that,
Yeah.
money's
I
coming.
agree.
Money's coming no matter what.
Right.
I don't care about additional tip. We're in Miami. I'm getting tipped off every single person that sits down because it's included in the check.
For now,
Sure.
yeah, it will still be.
Once you start talking shit or once you start ignoring me, then I just
Yeah. If you don't want to
next,
play,
that's it.
we're not gonna play. That's
Agreed.
fine. You want to have your space. You want to feel like you're in control.
Well, you see, that's the thing.
But
You give
I-
everybody the benefit of the doubt.
I have friends that will combat a guest. I've seen it.
Nah.
Combat a guest, go words with them back and forth.
Whoa.
Then leave. 10 minutes later, bring them shots. Hey, I just then they go above and beyond to try to rectify.
Compensate?
It, right?
Ugh.
That's a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I've done that
You don't wanna
before,
be in
not
that
on
position.
purpose, but I've done it before.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It's like, don't misunderstand. Like, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. What I say about, like, for example, what I said about the all-female table, I'm thinking that. I don't let it affect my outward presence. I don't let it affect my attempt to sell and to cater an experience. I'm still going to try to make people have a fantastic experience. And it's like, people don't understand this. Like, if you go out to eat and a server happens to mention things and recommend things and they happen to be expensive, or some of them, a good server is not going to gouge you. Because when you get gouged, you might say, oh, this was good, but I feel like I got fucked. And you'll never
Nobody
go back
likes
to that
being
restaurant.
gouged.
And you'll never go back to that restaurant. But you have to sort of say to yourself, because look, that's the thing. Like, if you don't want to relinquish control when you go out to eat, you're like, listen, you know what? Give me a few minutes. I got this. Then you are implying that you've got it under control. Then you're saying to yourself, you know what? I'm an experienced diner. I usually take care of ordering and paying, so I know how to do this. And you have to show it and be evident in the way you order. I can tell immediately when somebody orders, they know what they're doing. Fine. It's easy for me.
Yeah.
Good for you. Do your thing. I'm just going to fill in the blanks. I'll take care of you. You got it. But when you don't want to relinquish control and you don't do a good job taking care of your table, because then it's on you. It's not on us anymore. Right? Everyone around saw that I was trying to talk to you and you didn't want to converse with me. You told me that you shushed me away. You shooed me away. Fine. No problem. I'm not going to take it personal. But if your experience sucks, that's on you. It's not on us anymore. That's the way I feel.
Absolutely.
I love when they turn and say, is that enough?
Yeah.
Did I order enough? And you try to say,
No.
well, there are 15 people here and you do not have enough protein.
Right.
And then they don't want to add anything, but the rest of the people, you know, they're going to go hungry. So that's why it's important that we have that control, because we know how big the
Right.
dishes are. We do know how much is coming out.
Yeah. What do you say? What's your verb? What's your verbiage?
No, I want to give a comparison, because I don't know if you noticed that I cringe. That feels like when you have sex with someone and then you ask them if you ever do that, you say, did you like that?
No, that's gross.
That's how it feels.
That's how it
That's how it feels. That's how it makes you
gross.
look. Whenever you look at your guest server and be like, is that enough? You're like, no, that's not enough.
What's your verbiage? What's your
9
verbiage?
times out of 10, if you say, is that enough? It's going to be like, that's not enough.
When people ask
It's
me
never
that
enough
question,
when they ask that
Never.
question.
enough.
if you have to ask if you've ordered enough, usually it's not enough.
But
Like-
for me, what I prefer to do is I say, hey, let me build a menu. We're going to go item by item, and then I'm going to tell you how many of each to get. We do all of that at the
Yes.
end.
Which you have to.
Yes.
Let's decide everything that you want to try.
Yeah.
And then we're going to decide how much of it you want to eat. And when you come across that unique host that really wants something that's expensive, so they're not buying it, you create that whole menu, and then at the end you'd be like, well, why don't you get this for yourself also? Don't worry about the rest of your table. They got enough food. You have the caviar for you. You know what I mean?
That works for boutique small items, or not for huge items, though, obviously.
Well, that's, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is the biggest group that you had to serve on your own? Was it 10, 15,
30.
20,
Yeah.
25?
For me, it was 35
It was 30
on your own.
on my own. Yeah,
30 that turned into 50.
35, 30 to turn into 50.
Yes.
That sounds like fun.
It was awesome
Actually sounds like fun.
because we're not doing drinks anymore now.
No,
we're
that's
doing
all-
bottle service.
Yeah,
Done. It's not happening. It's not happening.
We're
Yeah.
doing bottle service. You're getting bottles. I'm pouring them out. We're shaking them out. We're having a good ass time.
yeah. Because at that point, you can get aggressive. You get a little assertive.
Yeah.
Because even if like a host doesn't want to, like at that point, it's like there's no discussion. At that point, it's like this is what we're gonna do, and you really got to. I mean, you got to be a little ballsy about it, but it's the truth. Because if I'm taking care of 35, 50 people, I'm not gonna have my bartender make 6 rounds of 40 drinks.
Correct.
It's not gonna happen. It's gonna slow down the whole restaurant.
Crash.
That's it.
Which
Here's your wine
also
list. Let's do it.
Brings up the fact of contracted large parties as opposed to non-contracted. Do you guys prefer the unhinged, a la carte, let's fucking go? Or do you like a predetermined spending limit? Do you like a predetermined prefix menu that we're going to be bringing out course by course that's already been predetermined by the host? Or do you just like when people sit down and it is free for all? They may order individually, they may order together as a family group, but what do you like?
I'm good with free for all. I understand why you don't want that for the kitchen side. That destroys service for every other person in the
Which
restaurant.
we're going to talk
It
about
which
now.
is why you don't do.
It
But
does do that.
I'm good with the free for all.
I like the free for all.
And look, there's a minimum attached to all these large contracted events, no matter what. So like they don't reach it, they're paying for a fee that comes
Regardless,
out of nowhere, right?
if that's your minimum, that's what you're paying.
So it doesn't affect us one way or another, right? In my head, and you get to have more fun with people. You know?
Yeah.
But it never works that way often because of the kitchen.
Damn.
I just like big groups. I don't really care.
Yeah,
I like
I would
big
say like
groups, too.
25 to 30 people was like the largest I had, and
Yeah.
it's nuts. But so let's talk about some of the challenges as to, and you did mention some of those, and it's important that you as a guest know that, because if you go to a restaurant and your table or your party is over 6, it's important to note that at that point, a la carte is not necessarily an option. Depending on the restaurant you go to, that's just the way it goes. We have rules. It's house rules. After 6 people, family dining. That's it. Now, if you go out to dine with a group larger than that and you're not okay with it, that's kind of a you problem as well. We can break those rules, but again, it comes down to, are you going to pay for that? Are you willing to play? Are you willing to spend? Because otherwise, you're not only affecting your experience, you're affecting everybody else's. If you order 10 steaks, different temperatures on the table, what's that going to do to the rest of the restaurant? What's that going to do to the kitchen, to the grill? And how's that going to all come out at the same time? And so you're not complaining, where's my steak? Where's their steak? Mine rested a little bit longer. So instead of being medium rare, it's more medium. Mine was, no, you're affecting yourself and everybody else on your table because of your lousy decisions. So it's very important for you to know the rules. And 6 or more, family style dining. You got to get used to that. Yeah. Otherwise, don't go out there.
That's a fabulous rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I got in trouble once because this lady was like, there was like 15 of them, and she was like, "No, we're all going to order our own things." I just looked at her. I said,
"No," and I want to put this out there for those naysayers saying, "Oh, I didn't know." If you go out to dine with a party of 6 or more, family style dining, it's a rule. It's not a choice. Thank you. Now you know. There's no excuses.
Got aggressive on that one.
Huh? You gotta put it out
like
there, because
that.
I hate it when they give you the, "Oh, nobody told us. We didn't know." Well, that's how we play the game here tonight. So what are we gonna do?
And it's going to be 1 check for the table.
Thank you.
I don't care.
We're gonna finish with that.
I don't care if it's 6 of you or 50 of you. It's 1 check.
1 check.
That's it.
You know what's a nightmare is when you have family, like predetermined menu, family style apps, but choice of entrees. Let's say you have a fillet of fish and a ribeye, right? The ribeye costs $20 extra, so nobody really orders it. You have a 30 top, and 24 of those people order fillets, all different temperatures, and you can just see that they are not in the correct order once they hit the table, and this medium rare is at the person next to them, and this person got the
just
well
walk
done.
And most of the
away,
time,
bro.
it's also your fault.
Who needs
because
that?
9 out of 10 times, it's a big top. I started here, another guest arrived, sat there, we counted
Yep.
1, 2, 3, and
Yeah.
now it's 1, 2, and who's
That's
that?
another thing
Who
people
knows
don't
that?
understand.
And then you
Way
sat
too
here
much
because
room
you
for
wanted to be
error.
closer to her. I
So
sat
much
there
room for
because
error.
I guess I had to sit closer to him.
Yeah.
So
That's another thing people don't understand. If you're eating in a big group, stay in your seat.
stay in your seat.
You don't understand.
Your seat has a number. That's
Stay
how
in
it
your
magically
seat.
appears
but
in your
do
table.
you want to stay in your seat when you have 30 friends with you?
I'm not gonna
I
go eat.
don't.
I'm not gonna go eat with 30
I
fucking
want to go
friends.
say hi to all my people.
Well, then go back to
Which
your
is
seat.
which
Go back
is
to your seat.
okay as long as you do family style dining. You can sit wherever you want because everybody's getting the same.
Correct.
Right. Don't complain that you got medium well when you ordered medium when you moved 4 times and 6 people joined the party. Because
Because at this time, if you say, "Oh, she got the mid rare, I got the medium," I'll be like, and you walk away. Or if you want to be a real gangster, you just be like, "Sure."
yeah. Oh, so you're saying like if
I swear that we give people good times. We are
Of course
really
we
nice,
do.
and we do a great
These
job.
are
Of course
stories.
we do. These are the
These are
horror
horror
stories.
stories.
This is what you're here for. You don't want to hear the good things.
You know
You
what
want to
else
hear.
is
You want to
But
hear
it
the
is for
greedy
your
stuff.
What else?
experience.
Another struggle with big parties is at the host end. People check in. You have a 12 top, and 4 people show up first. 2 more people show up,
right.
and then people keep showing up, but they're not stopping at the host end because they see their friends right away.
Yeah.
And you're seating the party when it's complete, and then you think only 9 of them are there because you can only see 9 of them from the host end, and then they come up like, "We've been waiting 30 minutes. Can we get sat already?" And it's like, "We had no. I'm sorry. We tried to confirm that you were all
When
here."
you arrive at a restaurant, make sure check in.
I just like when people show up in a Sprinter van together, you know?
Oh, those
great.
are those are the
That's
best ones.
great.
Those are the best ones.
Walk in,
Thank
sit,
you
boom.
to those of you who
That's
do
the
that.
best.
Thank you.
To the host who organized arriving at a restaurant in one vehicle.
Gangster.
God bless you.
I've seen some crazy things with
So
those
fun.
Sprinter vans.
So fun.
They all come in as friends together, and then they leave like ripping each other out of the Sprinter van. Hey, you didn't pay your
It's so
That must
funny.
be a fun night for whoever's driving that car.
I love it. It's so fun. Sprinter vans.
You know what bothers me when people eat? This doesn't work necessarily for huge parties. It works for like a party of like between 6 and 8 people. When one person doesn't follow the flow of everyone else's dining. So you've cleared everyone's main course. You're setting up everyone for dessert. There's always one fucking idiot who's only a third way through their main course and they still have savory food in front of them. And they don't catch the flow and realize that maybe let us box your food up or you're done. That's it.
I keep going.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking Neanderthal.
No,
it is what it is.
Let the other people around you enjoy their experience. The dessert will hit the table. That person will finish when they're ready to finish.
Man, you
and
must.
It looks
I'm gonna
tacky,
do
though.
it.
You must work somewhere where you have all the time, patience in the world. Not a manager saying, "Hey, I need that table. Drop the check.
No,
Drop the
I'm,
check. I
I'm
need the table.
literally
Drop the check."
saying keep going on the table.
Nah.
They want to finish their entree. That's fine. Let everybody else enjoy their dessert.
That's just not the way. That's not the way that works.
Listen,
bro.
one very important
That's
thing
not the way
here
that works, though.
about big groups.
Let them know.
Restaurant experiences are timed experiences, and that also applies for big groups. You also have a time, and the time starts from the moment that your reservation was meant to start. If it's 8:30, you have usually 3 hours for big groups,
Right.
And then you start at 8:30. You have to 11.
But hold on, that's not the way that works though, because
Period. So if
when you
you-
go
go ahead.
eat with other people, sorry to cut you off, when you go eat with other people, you're signing a social contract that you're eating with other people. And all of you possess an energy at the table that's distinct because it's a group. So if you're eating at a pace that's a pace that you would eat when you were by yourself, you're being disrespectful to everyone else at the table.
Yes.
Dude, if everyone is done, and you still have a lot of your entree left, that's a problem.
Sure.
You know,
But
is
if
it
you're-
yes or no?
If you're cognizant enough for somebody to come up to you and be like, "Hey, we're gonna move your dinner along. I have XYZ on the way, whether it's entrees or desserts."
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that we don't work
And then-
around it.
And then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course. Like, let them enjoy. I'll catch up."
Right. I'm not saying that we don't make it work. All I'm saying is that it should never happen. It's not necessary. Because when the group is done, you have to be done.
You want 30 people to sit down and all act the same.
That's not what I said. I said between groups of 6 or 8.
All right. You want 8 people to sit down and all act the same.
You came out to eat together, yes.
Oh, everybody.
You should
love
share
your
their
pet
own
peeves.
person.
You should share an energy. You should share an energy.
Listen, we're all different, and there's no right or wrong. This is how he
You
is.
should
how
share
are,
an
he is,
energy,
and we
bro.
are.
I'm not saying that when that person is still having their main course, that I'm not setting up the table for dessert. I'm just saying it looks really bad. It makes you look bad. It's either your friends are idiots or you're an idiot.
No.
Either
what-
way, somebody's
the,
off.
The worst part is if you give us the look of like I'm not finished. We know you're not finished. Everybody knows you're not finished. That's on you.
Right.
That's what he's trying to say. So don't be upset when we start clearing everybody, because the reality is that when you have a small top, right, a
Yeah.
2 top, 3 top, 4 top, and someone, especially the lady, still eating, you don't rush her. You don't clear everything. You only clear you manicure the table. You only clear the stuff that's in the middle that everybody's finished, but you don't clear everything until everybody's done. But in a big top, that rule out the way.
Remember, not a huge top. Because when tables are big enough, they have their own ecosystems. It's like the people on this corner are having their own conversation and vice versa, right? So that's fine. You're at the end of a 30 top. You're still having your filet. 15 minutes after everyone is done, do your thing down there. I'm talking about a table this big. What if there's 6 of us and we're all here? We all fit at this one table. And at my restaurant, this is a 20 top, right? Everyone's done. It's all.
You laugh because you know it's true.
Let me tell you a quick story. Look,
Please go ahead.
and I read
Stories.
this. This isn't something
If
that
you're
happened to
not
me.
touching shoulders, then
Then you're not at my
You're
restaurant.
not in the party.
Right.
Somebody should be sharing a seat.
Right. So like eating with the and you know, rest in peace for her, right? Eating with the Queen of England is like a huge honor. A huge honor. Right? I've heard these stories. The way those dinners work is, and these people who have eaten with the Queen are like, they've given horror stories because they're like, dude, I'll leave this dinner and I'm starving. Because the dinner could be 15 courses. They put a plate down in front of the queen and they serve everyone else. You can't start eating until she starts eating. The moment she puts her fork down and shows that she's done with the course, they clear the whole table. Everyone is done. So there's people who have noted, yo, I just had dinner with the Queen of England and I'm starving, because that's just a real thing. It's an energy at a table. When the majority of the table, now you're not out eating with the Queen of England in Miami. You got fucking glitter in the banquettes. You got no panties on. It's gross.
I had this situation in Miami though.
Exactly.
Because we got mafiosos here and they want to pay homage to the guy who's the most important, and it is run exactly like the Queen of England dinner.
That's it.
Everything needs to go through that guy first. He is to receive all of his plates first, and everybody else is not to take a bite until that guy takes his first bite and he approves the dishes that are being put on the table.
Nice.
Boom, pow.
And I like that.
What do you got to say to that?
That's some powerful shit.
Huh? What do you got to say to that, Blue Eyes?
How with that?
Blue Eyes White Dragon. There you go. Now, before we move into how to, I want to also mention another challenge that's very important for guests to know, and that is ordering drinks. If you're in a big group, 10, 12 or more, and you start saying, oh, I want my lemon drop, strawberry, sugar rim. I want my lemon drop, mango, salt. I want my lemon drop, regular, no rim. And then you complain that, oh, it's taking too long. Where's my stuff? Dude, you're ruining it for everyone. If you're going to be in a big top, bottle service, bottles of wine, play it out. If you don't have it in you, man, or ladies, really think about that.
That's
But
the thing.
hold on.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Go
As
for it.
servers,
Yes.
are you taking action to help them? So what I'm doing
Let's go, because I was going to go there. Go ahead.
is if I have 15 people,
Yeah.
I'm putting 7 drinks in, sending the ticket, and then putting the other 8 drinks in after. So those first 7 drinks are being built and sent by the time the last 8 drinks come in.
Really? And then I'll be like, what's my drinks?
And I'll let them know. I'll say I broke them up in 2 so that we could get things to you quicker.
Yeah. I'll send all the drinks.
Excellent, excellent.
I'll send
because
all
then
the
they
drinks,
start,
but what I'll
they
say to
start going
people-
back and forth.
A 15 top of drinks isn't going to go out.
I'll send
until
all
it's
the drinks,
ready.
but what I'll tell people is I'll say, listen, this first round of drinks is going to take a long time. And this is only after the table just refused bottles, refused wine. Ultimately, we're here to take care of our guests and the restaurant to make money. So if 15 people want to sit down, they don't want to eat family style, fuck it. They don't want to have bottles or wine, fuck it. It is what it is. So I'll ring all the drinks in at once and I'll tell them. I'll go to my bar, be like, yo, you're about to get a big ticket. And I'll go to the table. I'll go, listen, guys, this first round of drinks might take a long fucking time because you guys didn't want to listen to me. But your second round of drinks won't take as long because you're not all going to finish at the same time. So please don't ask me where your drinks are. They're going to be here when they're here.
I use it as an opportunity to
That's
offer
it.
a round of shots too.
Yeah, that's the best way.
let's
And then you
just-
send those individually. You start with the shots and then you go with the drinks.
Yeah.
But don't be in a group of 10, order 10 cocktails and complain about where your drinks are.
Yeah. Or who got, where's my, and you point over there and he's like, but whose fault is that?
You know what really bothers me? When people sit down and they like looking at the menu and they're like, okay, I'll take the margarita. And then this person, you'll be like, okay, so what are you drinking? And this person will ask this person, what did you get? Why? Why do you want to know?
People have a hard time making decisions.
Why the fuck does it matter? What does it matter what I got? What
You're having margarita? I'll have one too.
What does it fucking matter?
Or even worse, after that, they'll be like, no.
Why do
I'm not
people
having it. It's like,
do that shit?
Maybe just to feel the vibe. You know, if you're drinking wine, it's a different
Right.
ball game than
Right.
tequila.
Right.
If we're going tequila, we're going tequila. It's okay.
I've just never understood.
I
that.
feel it's a lack of
I never
identity.
understood why
and you need
people
to
have
figure
to
that
ask
one out
other
yourself.
people what they're drinking. If you're ordering cocktails, what does it matter? Anything. It doesn't matter. If you're not sharing food.
Okay.
If you're not sharing food.
What about
What does it matter?
you know you're going out later? You know you're going to get bottles. If you're starting with a vodka drink, it's likely we're going to get vodka at the end of the night. If I start ordering whiskey and I'm switching to vodka, I'm going to be fucked up tomorrow. So let me start off on the right page. You're the host. I'm going to follow your lead.
What if
What are
I'm
we
not the
doing
host?
tonight? We're
What if
doing-
I'm just ordering a cocktail?
I'm
You know what I like
attaching
to-
myself to you for the night.
All right, so if I go
I'm
out,
following your
right?
lead.
So if I go out, right, and you like sweet cocktails, and I order a mezcal Negroni, which is my favorite drink right now, you're gonna order mezcal Negroni?
No, I'm going to realize I should not attach myself to you. And I'm gonna
So
attach
don't
myself
fucking
to
ask
her
me what I'm
instead.
drinking. Is what I'm saying. Order your own drink. Is what I'm saying. Order your own drink.
Be an
I'm
adult,
following
or your
suit.
own
I'm
drink.
getting the mezcal skinny spicy margarita with a tahini.
Right, but that's because you like that.
I like
You
that.
like
Listen,
that.
I think that most people would have their top 3, right? And they will say, normally when I'm feeling this way, I'm going to start with this drink. Or when I'm feeling that way, I'm going to start with that one. And then I usually going to move with that. Everybody has their things straight. I guess I understand if you want to bond or vibe with the other person, but at the same time, it's not making it look any good.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why you're asking someone else at the table what they ordered. Just order what you want to order.
That's another one of those questions that I said that makes you know that where they
just want some advice.
Grow the fuck up. Grow up, dude.
Exactly.
That's the whole issue here.
If you need me to be like, yum, that's a good one. Excellent choice, sir.
Then you know what? If
And
you
you're
have
being a
issues,
little kid.
if you have issues making decisions, which is okay, it's not a personality trait that makes you a bad person. It just makes you a bad diner. Then if you have that issue, then you know what you do? You relinquish control of your dining experience to one person and let that person make the decisions for the table, which is what the fuck we've been talking about for the last hour.
I have a hard time making decisions, so I study the menu before I go to the restaurant.
Totally
because
normal.
I want to order with confidence. I want to know what I'm getting. I want to have time to really view it. And sometimes you don't really get that opportunity when you're first sitting down with, especially in a large group of people.
There you go.
Because you need to be greeting these people. You need to be saying hello.
Right.
And if you didn't come prepared, then now it's going to take an hour for you guys to even get for your first dish on the table because you guys are all socializing. Oh, we haven't even looked at the menu yet. Ha 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 ha.
One of the lines I like to tell people is I say, listen, guys, I want to go from you guys holding menus and thinking about shit to just having a good time as soon as possible. So who's making this?
I'm
You know
there
what I
for
mean?
that. I'm there
That's
for
what I
the
want.
good
That's what I
time.
want you to do.
Ooh, that's good.
That might be one of the only things I've ever heard you say to a table that I like.
Well, I say.
It was so accommodating.
I know, so that's why I said we all have a roles to play. You know, I look forward to having
say
a
it,
manager
guys.
soon because I always say that when you staff a restaurant, it's important for you to have different vibes, different personalities, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like the crew of a heist. They all have the roles to play. So, you know, sir.
It's like Ocean's 4 right now.
Exactly.
now it's
So
Ocean's
now
4.
let's move on how do we serve big groups?
It depends on the group.
Depends on, of course. Ooh, you want to jump in and start saying something?
Yeah, if it's a business dinner, then you have to do silent service and let them conduct their business.
Yeah.
If
Fucking G.
you see that it's a birthday party, you better be ready to turn the heck up when you walk over there
Right.
and find out who that person is that's celebrating that birthday.
Right.
We're going to light
Yes.
it up for you.
Yeah.
And then I've had parties
Right.
where I've had a guy come in, he's the host, he's the guy paying, and he doesn't even know anybody at his own party.
That's right.
He just invited them. There's 40 people. We're going to rack this shit up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even drink. He
Yeah.
doesn't even want to talk to anybody. He's just here. He's
Right.
just providing the entertainment. And the person that you need to be is going to be determined
Yeah.
upon
Right.
who's
I wanna-
walking in the place.
I want to throw one out there, a little tip in that case, because we already spoke about identifying the host and all that. Well, the person who's paying. This one came by good old Joe. He taught me this when I had a big group. He said, Adrian, you're worrying about everybody on that table, and you are wasting a lot of your energy. You don't need to do that. Identify the host and make a triangle. The person to the left, the person to the right, and the person across from them. If you take care of those 3 people, not even that person, if you take care of those 3 people, they will be like, oh, yo, this was an amazing experience. Yo, man, that was so good. Thank you. You ordered that. Whoa. That person, you make him look good by, again, that triangle. Forget everybody else. You take care of them. You're gonna be good. However, not on every occasion, of course. Because if
Everything
you
is
have a family,
circumstantial.
I want
Everything is
to throw this one too. If you have a family, there's an order, a sequence of service. Let's say you have a family.
Can I take a guess?
Mom,
I was about to say. I was about to
dad,
guess.
grandma, kids, and a bunch of other people.
I was going to say mom first.
Number one, kids. You take care of the kids, mom's gonna be fine. Number 2, you kind of got to divide it between grandma and mom, because if the kids are fine, then grandma won't be upset. If grandma's good, mom won't be upset. And if mom's not upset, the person who's paying will be grateful. If that person has peace because you manage that, they'll be grateful.
This is not a topic for this show. So I just want yes or no answers here. Do you like taking care of kids? Remember the assignment.
My face said it all. I guess I answer that one.
Yes or no?
I prefer not to.
Nicole?
I don't even think I like kids anymore.
You?
Yes.
Of course.
knew it, bro.
Please go for it.
Knew it, bro.
Just get a little closer to the mic, show those eyes, and shine
knew
bright
it,
and
man.
say,
I
why
knew
do
it.
you do? Talk to me.
Do
How
I
you're
pull up
investing
Mary
in the
Poppins?
future.
Yes, I do.
Of course, you have
But
to.
Do I enjoy it?
takes a lot out of you, though.
Of course.
It takes a
Do
lot
you
out of
know
you.
how many times kids have sat down and been like, I want caviar?
Really? How many
go.
times is that? How many times is
A
that?
lot. A lot.
How many times have kids sat down and their parents? Yeah, no
parents,
way.
Yes. And I watched Five Top get 3 ounces of caviar last week because their kid wanted caviar.
Right. Well, that kid's like the son of an oligarch or something. No.
No.
When I take care of kids, they want fucking their parents try to accommodate their need for chicken
And
nuggets
that's fine
and burgers
too.
and shit.
If the kid wants buttered pasta and you get this kid squared away, you have the parents in the palm of your hand.
No one
That's
is-
why when you have a party of a family,
Right.
immediately. Hello,
Yes.
welcome in. Also, by the way, for your kids, I have A, B, C, D.
It's
You let
just
me know
like Nicole
as soon
said.
as you need
It's
that.
just
I'll
like
put that
Nicole
right away.
said. She puts on her Mary Poppins. I didn't ask anybody if they're capable of taking care of children. I asked you if you liked taking care of children.
I do. They're easy.
All right, go on to the next thing. 'Cause this
simple.
guy's making me sick. Go on to
What
the
I
next
don't like out of big parties, I think the groups I like the least are big groups of families.
thing. Yeah.
Everybody's so comfortable with each other, so they all have a lot to say. They all have very specific needs that they want to put out there. Where a business group, they're not going to do that.
No.
You work with somebody, you're not gonna feel confident for every single person
No.
to give you their needs. A family will though.
Listen, yeah. Any cool tips you want to throw in there since you're at it, sir?
About families?
No, about a big group. You have a big group. Something that you have to make sure that you always do.
No, I think your tip and what Nicole said earlier is my favorite is whose birthday it is, who you might have the host, but you have who the person they're celebrating is. You make sure they have a great time, and then the whole table's happy.
When you
for it,
take care of big parties, let's give you a scenario. When you take care of big parties and people have drinks, do you ask people if they want another drink, or do you just bring them another drink?
I just bring them another drink.
Depends
if
on the
I
party.
feel
It
that I
depends
have
on the
that
party.
liberty.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That is my favorite large party ever. When we have a verbal contract in the very beginning that they don't want to be bothered with me or any decisions on the dinner, and they just want things to arrive on the table, and I no longer have to talk to any of the guests. If your drink is here, I'm automatically sending another one. And
Automatically.
it's a win-win-win for everybody. Everybody has a full drink. The host looks like a bad motherfucker because he gets to be the star of the show.
That's
yes,
right.
you had everything. Your dinner was amazing because of me, but really it was because of me. But it also makes our job way easier, and we have the liberties to
It's
run
a
up
it's
that
a
check
synergy.
as
It's
well.
about being on the same page. It's about you as
Yeah.
a guest saying, "Hey, this is us." I want to make sure that we're on the same page. It's like when in the Wolf of Wall Street, when he goes, "You're gonna bring us every 15 minutes a fresh glass of these, and you're gonna give it to us
A
until we
martini,
fucking
a
pass
martini,
out."
a
You know,
martini.
let's start with the.
I
Which
like-
I want to throw it. I want to throw a fun out there because I don't know if you want to throw a cool party that you once served from a celebrity. You don't have to say anything that happened, but just throw a celebrity out there because I gotta say, we did serve the Wolf, we did serve Mr. McConaughey, hey, and we went in there with a and we had
He's a cool guy, bro.
banging time.
I would
Mr.
love to.
McConaughey,
Cool fucking guy.
You're cool. You're a cool time, bro. You're a cool time. Cool dude.
So was Jordan Belfort. I'll tell you that much. Listen, so you know what? One of my favorite things. This
Well,
is,
do you want? Let's give them on. Throw a celebrity or a guest that you served that you say yourself, sir or madame, respect.
Shout out to Lil Uzi, man.
Uzi.
Shout out to Lil Uzi.
Uzi Vert. I love you.
Yeah,
Seems like a cool guy.
yeah. Any you want to throw out there?
That was my table.
That was your table? Lil
That was
Uzi?
my table.
Come on, you gotta-
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
That was
That was you.
The best experience.
Mad cool, bro. Cool. as
Yeah,
fuck.
man. There's some people that are really cool.
Really
You want to throw? Because you have a plethora.
Yeah, I've taken care of a lot of celebrities. To be honest with you, most celebrities are either neutral or cool because they don't really talk much. They're not there to talk. They're there to like kind of eat.
Correct.
They always have like a consigliere who takes care of everything.
Yeah.
You don't really,
Can I throw one for you then? A story that you told me and I said, that was so cool.
Shaq.
Oh, the Leo story?
Leo.
Yeah, speaking of, that's why I said Jordan Belfort. I wasn't talking about the real Jordan. I was talking about Leo.
Because we all seen the real Wolfie too. So I thought you meant the real.
Yeah, the
Wolf.
real Jordan Belfort has been to
Not
our
the real
restaurant.
Jordan Belfort.
He's cool. He's all right.
It's cool.
But
Not as cool as.
yo, Leo's
cool.
a gangster,
Not-
bro.
not like
Leo's
Leo
a
cool.
gangster. I tell you his Leo story. It's really quick. It's quick. Like I'm
Go for
getting cocktails, and I get Leo's cocktail. Right, he orders a drink. The guy to Leo's left, who I don't know who the fuck he is, I call him. I say, sir, what are you drinking? And completely ignores me. He's on his phone like this. So I go, okay, give him a second. I say again, I say, sir, what are you drinking? And the guy's just ignoring me. And Leo goes like this. Leo goes, yo, he's talking to you. The guy goes, oh shit, what's going on?
There you go. Wake them up. Take a little bit of ownership. Remember, if you're the host, this is your table. If they fuck up, then maybe
how
you look
often
bad.
does this happen? And I think it's in terms of big groups, in terms of any table, but especially big groups, I think it's the dream scenario where a guy or a girl just says, you do it for us. You take care of us. You build us a menu. You do
Yes.
whatever you want.
Now, do you have some follow-up questions when you do that?
I do.
Let him go first.
So
Sorry.
it depends on the vibe. If I'm
Yes.
getting a vibe that these people are very affluent, they don't give a shit, I'm not going to insult them with those details. But that's the thing, I'm going to do it because a person like that, you might fuck them and they won't say a word. They might even tip you really well. But they're like, this person fucked me. Right? They're not stupid. Most people with money, I'd say all people with money are not stupid. They're smart in some way. Even if you look at them and they seem socially retarded.
Yeah.
They're smart in a way, they are smart. So that person will sign their check. They'll say thank you. They'll be very polite. Like I said, they might even bless you. But they'll be like, that server fucked me. And then you'll never see that person again. Or if you see them again, you won't wait on them again. One way or another.
Yeah.
So you have to be cognizant. You have to say to yourself, okay, let's say it's a scenario specifically where I know this person is loaded. They don't care. I'm going to make a menu for them that's first and foremost high quality. It's about the quality. If the extremely high quality thing happens to be very expensive, that's just a coincidence. I'm not going to send them the expensive thing because they have money. I'm going to cater their experience and make it very high quality, but it just so happens that some of those high quality things are going to be very expensive.
Nice.
But if I get that vibe,
You want to throw one out? You want to mention
I learned from Derek
D-Rock, baby, let's go.
that when they do relinquish the control and allow you to create a menu, it is absolutely the most glorious experience for everyone. However, I do always ask, do you like caviar? Do you like Wagyu? I want to just make sure. Some people just really don't want caviar, even if they have all the money in the world. Just because I love it doesn't mean that they love it.
Right.
And then that kind of really sets a tone where now they're not, I misstepped that. I could have built their trust by not sending them the caviar, at least asking if if the party would love to enjoy. Because obviously it could be gouging somebody sometimes if they're not liking that. Some people don't like Wagyu. I love Wagyu, but sometimes people find it to be too rich. So that's fine. No problem. I'm going to pivot. I'm still going to send you the best stuff, but I'm going to just make sure that it's what you want.
Right.
And so I do ask those questions. I'll ask people if they like raw things. I'm not going to send raw oysters or sashimi if that's not your thing. So I will cater to that instance. But then once that conversation is over, I'm not going to speak to you again. Now, everything's just going to start coming to the table. Your whole experience has been curated, and it's going to be incredible for all parties at that point.
D, you want to throw something in there?
I think I start all large parties off if I have to take the order with some sort of, hey, I'm happy to build a menu for you. I'm happy to create a menu with you. Or if you want to take control, go for it. I give them all three options.
Nice.
And then when they give me the ability to build it for them, I always try to see if there's any don'ts.
I love it.
I will say when I first got to Miami, I didn't know that handlers were a thing.
Yeah.
And who I thought I was talking to as the host was a handler for the host. And I was like, is there any issue here? Any don'ts, caviar, Wagyu, XYZ? And they were like, nah, go for it. They just want to have a good time. It's their birthday. And I was like, all right. And I put 2 pounds of caviar on the table.
Epic.
Which I ended up getting yelled at for at the end of the night. Like, we don't even eat caviar.
Yeah.
So,
Which is a very unique thing. Before we continue, I want to, for those who don't know, can you tell us what a handler is?
people with money will come to Miami. I've never heard of this in another city. I'm sure it happens in other cities.
Of course.
A little more elegantly though. People will come to Miami with money and have somebody set them up for the week, right? Find them a place to stay, find them a car that they're either going to get driven in or drive, what places they're going to go eat, set all the reservations, set all the menus for them. And they're just paying this person a fee to essentially be like a personal shopper for them.
Yeah. The first time I came across that, and nothing against her as a performer, she's fantastic, Miss Shakira. You don't speak to Shakira. You speak to the person next to Shakira, which is a handler. And it's like, all right, fine. So
That's so goofy, bro.
exactly. Listen, that's the way you want to play. Fine.
goofy as
However, if you're going to be someone's handler, at least know what they do, what they like, what they don't like. Do your job right. When you have a big top, even if you don't know who the guest is, make sure to make yourself be known and seen. Just take that second, stand there, be firm, have your poise, and just wait a little extra second. Someone's going to notice, and silence is going to happen. At that point, be loud, be concise, be clear. Welcome to place X. I'm X person, and I'm going to be taking care of that.
I forgot to mention that.
If you need anything tonight, I'm the person who you're going to talk to.
How do you get in charge?
Don't talk to anybody else. Blah, blah, blah. If you want something done tonight, you talk to me. Because I even tell that back at them. They're like, oh, where's my drink? Did you ask me, sir?
I say that too.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I say that too.
Don't be afraid. This is a table of wild animals at times. You need to take charge. At that point, you go in immediately and you say, who's in charge? You find that person. Be clear, be concise. As you saw, everybody has their own little questions to ask. What do you want? What do you not like? But just be quick, be precise. I like the way that you approach it. You want me to do something loud? You want me to do something? I personally say, boss, what kind of menu do you want me to do for you today? I can go with the heavy. I can go with the most popular items, make sure everybody has a good time. I can go with the loud items and make sure we have an unforgettable time. Or do you want to go ahead and take charge and I'm going to assist you? Another thing I personally like to do is if I know I have a 20 top and I have a minimum, I will already have a menu already written down because I already know it by heart. I know if I know 10, 12, 15 people, I know how many dishes of X I need to put in there because you need to guide your guests. If your guest says, oh, I want to have X dish, it's 12 people. You say that dish comes with 3 pieces. You need to have 4, period. Because otherwise, then somebody's not going to have it. Or if that dish only has 2 pieces, you say, boss, we're going to need to add. Maybe we'll do extra. Or you know what? I'll talk in with the chef. I'll make sure that everybody has that piece. You need to take charge of that table. Yes, you're kind of working with the host, but you need to take charge. And remember, in the end, you're managing their expectations and you're making this guest look good. So if you don't make them look good, that's going to reflect on you. Just giving some points out there. I don't know if you want to.
That's the key. You got to really be like a lion wrangler. You got to be a zookeeper sometimes.
And also I want to throw out there, if you're going to be someone's handler, make sure you know how to tip. Right? I understand that you're not the person necessarily sitting them because sometimes the person that pays is also their security, etc. And that person was not even sitting there, so they don't know exactly how the experience was. That could be an issue. And we're going to get into payment. We're going to finish with payment now.
That's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. You want to minimize like your communication with the entire table, but you never know who's going to pay. That's kind of like a balance. That's you never really know. Sometimes that's backfired on me. Like I've ignored this person.
Yep.
And I've paid attention to the host.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when they ask for the check, this person grabs the check, and I go,
Shoot,
I'm fucked.
I forgot their drink.
I'm fucked.
Oh.
Now let's wrap this
Hold
up.
on, real quick.
Do
Oh,
you
I'm sorry.
guys you guys ever have a situation where you're really almost telling these people what they can and cannot do throughout their whole entire dinner?
It's a job.
The whole entire time, you know? Yeah, I feel like I'm almost chaperoning a little bit to an extent. I have to tell people, no, we cannot do this, but we could do this. Oh, no, please don't do the drugs on the table.
Redirect. Reframe.
Please do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Adrian said, like somebody will be like, oh, I ordered a drink like 5 minutes ago. It's not here. And I'll be like, who did you order it from?
Yeah.
They'll be like, that guy. I go, does that guy have this jacket on? No. If you need something, ask this jacket or ask someone else with this jacket. Like, I don't get it. Is it that hard to know the difference between people's roles when you go eat? Like, you don't have to know what everyone does, but if I greet you, I mean, does this ever happen? Like, you talk to a table, a 2-top. You talk to them for 5 minutes.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
You talk to a 2-top for 5. No. You talk to a 2-top for 5 minutes about their drink, about their food, eye contact. It's all there. You walk away, you come back a minute later, and they're like, are you our server?
Yeah.
I'd be like, wasn't I just talking to you for 5 fucking minutes? What's wrong with you? Is it that hard to pay attention to people? Like,
I have people sometimes think I'm a manager, so I just greeted them.
No, that happens all the time.
And they think that I'm a manager, and then I come back and
big
they're
manager
like,
and you go,
where's our server?
No. I don't mean like.
And I'm like, I'm right here.
I don't mean like they'll know. I don't mean like they won't know your role. I mean like they won't remember you. They won't remember you. I mean,
Yeah, it happens.
Well,
I
it's
don't
Miami.
under-
Everybody
I don't
knows.
understand.
It happens to all
They're
of
all
us.
on something.
I just spoke to you for
Yeah.
5 minutes. Are you our server? Not like, and I can see it in their eyes. And they're like, are you a server? Are you my server? They're asking.
That's when you just be like, oh no, let me go grab them for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then you just like flip around and do that. I did that once. I did that. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, yes.
Talk to me. What can I get for you?
You're welcome. So feel free to fuck around with your guests. Why not?
It's
Remember,
fun.
we're managing their expectations.
It's
Let's
all
wrap
fun.
this up with the bill.
Oh.
Here's the one rule. If you're in a big party, one check.
If you're in a small party, one check.
One check.
It's just one check for the table. Man.
That's it.
Don't ask for separate checks.
Listen, if you want a separate check,
It's not gonna happen.
here's an idea. Take a picture of the receipt. Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, American Express does it. All banks do it. You'll be fine. If you really want to, you can even request them. You can do Apple Pay, anything you want. You can do Apple Pay on the table. How much you want? Here's Apple Pay them, throw them cash, but one check.
Like I
That's
said,
it.
doesn't matter. 50 top, 2 top, one check.
That's it. And they'll be like, oh, can you like? No.
That's payment right
You know,
there.
You came with your friends. You pay with your friends. Simple as that.
That's payment. As a grace, extending grace, I'll let people pay with more cards than we're supposed to allow them to pay. Just because I see that. I mean, has a table ever taken as long to pay as they took to eat?
Oh yes.
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 You see how everyone reacted? This is the first time everyone's reacted the same way. That's the first time Kumbaya even reacted negatively. Sometimes table will take 45 minutes to eat and it'll take 45 minutes to pay. And I you know what I do? I just stand back. I go, that's your fucking problem.
Yeah, just let them be.
It's not
Give
on
them
me.
a pen.
Yeah.
Give them a pen and say, listen, tell me exactly how much you want on each card, and I got you.
Oh, and
Wave me down when you're ready.
also, managers and serve staff, don't be afraid at that time to also let your guests know to step out to the
You
side
got to get up.
to handle that
Yeah.
business.
You got to get up.
Because we got to serve our next
You got to get
guest.
up. Yeah.
Because your time experience,
Yeah. I've
is
done that. I've done that before.
I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. You enjoy the time you had here. I'm sure that other people are waiting and want to enjoy the same
Yeah.
time, or even better one that you, because they probably are more organized and know how to pay.
You gotta
So
go.
if you want to spend 45 minutes paying, do it on the side.
Yeah.
Do it on the side. Not do it.
It's so irritating. It's so obnoxious, man. Really is. But I love that, honestly. Yeah. You will be asked to get up and pay on the side if you're taking too long because everything has its limit.
And if you're a guest telling yourself, oh, no, but you guys talking this and that, put yourself in any situation. Have 10 people come over to your house. See if you're not going to give them rules. Tell them how they should behave or not behave.
That's got to be the most embarrassing thing ever. Is
It's
being
so
part
embarrassing.
of that group and everyone's standing up and making a whole ruckus on the check. Like, please be quiet.
It's so
everyone.
embarrassing.
Everyone
It's
just put
super
your card in.
embarrassing.
I don't want to be affiliated.
Yeah, at that point, you start cutting people off. You're like, nope,
elegance
no.
at the end of a meal.
That's
I
it.
love that. I feel like you be gracious and thank your server, tip your server, and pay the bill and get the hell out.
That's it.
Yeah. Sir, anything you want to?
Two things. One, for servers, take charge. And two, for guests, if anything, at least make your payment as smooth as possible. That's it. Those are the only two things.
You got something? you want?
Agreed.
That's it.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for coming, guys.
We really
Thank you so much
appreciate
for
you taking the
having
time.
us.
This is
love this show.
This was fun. Let's do it again. I think that as long as we pay appropriately, we'll do this again. All right, let's wrap this up. When dining in a big group, remember, chaos is optional. If you're not willing to play along, you're not just making it harder for us, you're spoiling the fun for everyone. So let's keep it neat, be considerate, or at least try, and make sure to reward the person that managed your experience with a proper big top tip.
Ooh.
Thank you for listening.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's go. You killed it.
I love it.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.